Good evening, Westbrook staff. In lieu of a long staff meeting presentation tomorrow, I'm sending out a quick video just introducing you to our heat map and what that looks like for the building. So if you've not heard of the heat map yet, this is something that Mark Weichel and Dr. McCann came up with for each building. I think this is the second year of implementation on it, and basically it just kind of outlines the building goals and data that we are looking at moving forward. So I just want to introduce you to it real quick and show you where to find it so that you can play around a little bit with it or take a look at it. We're not going to do anything with this yet. We're going to have design teams coming up here in a few weeks that we'll talk about, and we've had a summer writing team that kind of helped formulate some of this, but we'll get there in just a bit. To start out, if you need to find it, actually, you go to your Google Drive, and if you come up to Team Drives, Westbrook Staff Information, and it is in the folder called Heat Map. If you open that up, you will get this heat map here. And so this is kind of the overview of what we are doing and focusing on this year. Now that we're getting some systems in place and we're through quarter one of a new transition in leadership, it's time to start thinking and planning for the future. So you'll see here our district house document. You can always click on that and expand it if you want. There's, of course, our school here, and then the actual document is divided up into a table here that I'll try to explain to you. So these are our targeted outcomes that we are focusing on for our school. So we're actually going to start with Core Strategy 2, which is math. We're increasing our math scores. That's Core Strategy 2. We want to implement Tier 1 PBIS strategies, increase the number of families that are engaged in partnerships, and increase hope, engagement, and well-being of students and teachers by focusing on question 4 of the Gallup Teacher Engagement Survey. So that's staff and student recognition. So everyone that was on our summer writing team that kind of helped write some goals for this that we'll talk about next Wednesday, you may notice that we have a new one added to the top, and that's Core Strategy 1 here. Dr. McCann and Mark Weichel decided or suggested that we add that at least as a monitor status because we were the only elementary school that wasn't focusing on reading. So we are going to add that into our heat map here, but it is not going to be it's not going to be something we're actively writing plans for, more of a targeted outcome that we're going to monitor. So right here it is the status of each one. This one we're kind of monitoring. All the rest of them we are going to actively write plans for, except for the increase the number of families that are engaged in partnership. This is a new goal for us that kind of stemmed out of our Buffett training this summer, if you were able to attend to that. So you'll notice that some of these things are not filled out very well right now, because that's one of the things that Mark and Blaine are going to help me with when they're in tomorrow, and we're kind of talking about and going over this. So that's what our meeting tomorrow is about, and you'll see a lot more of these columns filled in after I meet with them tomorrow. But just to keep explaining it here, this Common Friends column here is all the other schools that are working on the same thing we are, and we'll fill that in as we go. Summative tools are the end of the year big picture tools that we're going to use to measure our success. So of course we've got NISA on there, we've got our Swiss data, Gallup engagement, things like that. So at the end of the year we fill these in with our district numbers and how the district has gone. You see we increased 13 percentage points there on 4th grade reading NISA. And then our specific building numbers we'll fill in too as we go in this column. And when we get the scores from this year, we'll add them in there. Target here, if there's a plus sign, that means that we are looking to increase that. I'm guessing we haven't had our baseline here for our Swiss data, but I'm guessing you're going to see a minus sign here, which means that we're going to decrease that number as our goal. So that's what that means. If you see a plus sign or a minus sign, we either want to increase those numbers or decrease those numbers. Moving forward here are the specific actions that we're going to take to meet those, and those were determined by our summer writing team that met this summer. And we will share all of their plans that they've written with you coming up on, I believe it's the 8th of November is the first time that we'll get together as a team and talk about design teams. So next Wednesday at 4, we will talk specifically about the plans that those people made, and we're going to divide up into design teams at that time. So these are the goals that each group came up with. So keep moving to the right here, and we look at formative tools. These are tools that we will use each quarter to measure how we're doing. And you'll see these aren't filled in yet. That's something that we're going to work on tomorrow. But these are kind of the benchmarks along the way that we want to hit, and we'll fill in this data as we go. But you can look more at that as we dive into the heat map. Here on notes and collaborations are just kind of where we've been in the past and where we want to head. So we can really add anything in there that we would like. One thing that I didn't mention at the beginning is that this heat map is not for public consumption. We have a couple documents that we do share with the public, but this has so much data and terminology that maybe isn't friendly for all stakeholders that we don't give this out to the public. So this is just kind of for us and our school. Feel free to take a look at it now. Tomorrow and over the weekend, I'll be adding a lot more numbers over here so we can kind of see where we're at and where our data goes. But I'm excited as we grow together as a staff and as a team to input new numbers over here and kind of see where we're growing or areas that we still need to grow. One of the things that I love about the heat map is the transparency aspect. So these strategies over here do not change throughout the year. No matter what data we plug in here, be it positive or negative, we still have to own it over here on the left, and we still have to own it and make sure that we are striving to meet those goals. And I like the shared ownership too, that we're all going to take in writing some design team plans together to improve these, and we'll talk more about that on Wednesday, November 8th. So here's the heat map. Here's where to find it. Take a look at it, formulate some questions, start thinking about some discussion points, and we'll talk more about this on November 8th. Thanks, team. Looking forward to a great weekend, and make sure you wear your shirts tomorrow if you got them. If you don't have a shirt, we have plenty more ordered. They're in Tyler's office as of tonight, so just come and grab one when you can. And a reminder that Mark and Blaine will be in the building Friday from noon to 1 to help me with this heat map, but I also think it's a nice chance for us to show off the positivity in our school. We want to make sure that we tell our story and they get an accurate picture of some of the things that we're working on and some of the things that we're dealing with, but I also think that it's a chance for us to start to show our pride in our school. So thanks in advance for helping with that. Good night, Westbrook staff.